Good Erev Shabbos and good Chodesh. I hope you and your family are well. Now, if you've been following the Torah readings so far, all of the contents and the stories have been both relevant and inspiring. It starts off with the creation of the world, and then the beginning of humanity through Adam and Eve, and then Noah, and then the beginning of the Jewish people through the patriarchs and matriarchs, and then the fascinating stories of Joseph and his brothers, and then we get to the beginning of the Jewish people that are experienced in Egypt through the slavery, redemption, and then the receiving of the Torah on Mount Sinai. And then last week's Seder, we have a whole list of laws which are relevant to our everyday living. Now we come to the Seder of Terumah, which deals with the construction of the temporary tabernacle in the desert. And we have all its laws and all its measurements and how it was constructed. And the temptation is to switch off. But my advice is do not do that, because these Seders which are coming up, which deal with the details of the tabernacle, are probably the most important message of the whole of the Torah. Now, when we look at the tabernacle, there's two questions. Again, we have to ask, what is the relevance for all this detail? It was only a temporary construction, which they had in the desert and in the first few years when we lived in the land of Israel. And the second question we have to ask is, what is the whole idea of having a house of God? Surely God dwells everywhere. Now, the message from the Seder comes through very strongly that the purpose of the construction and its details is to teach us that God dwells within us, the human beings. And we see that in the introductory verses to the construction of the tabernacle. It says as follows, Va'asuli mikdash, make for me a sanctuary, v'shachanti b'tocham, and I will dwell not b'tocho, in it, but rather b'tocham, amongst them. The purpose of the construction was that Hashem would now dwell within the Jewish people, within humanity. And then the next verse says, Kochol asher mareh osacha, according to, you construct it according to everything that I have showed you. Now, in the Hebrew, the word otacha can mean you. So we read it as follows, according to everything that I am showing, that this is you. And we see in the details of the tabernacle and all the vessels within it, gives us a reflection of what a human being should be. Now, I'm not going to go into all the details of that, so this is just a short message for you. But the purpose of these Sedras, as we read them, and all the details of the contents, teaches us about the human being. And the message I want to leave with you at this moment, and it requires further study as well, but the initial message is to teach us that the purpose of the Torah, the purpose of our lives, is that we should bring Hashem's light and inspiration into us and shine it out into the rest of the world. Let's enjoy these Sedras. Let's pick up all the details so we can learn just how to do that. But in the meantime, I wish you and your families Shabbat Shalom and a Chodesh Tov. Bye-bye.